Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nostromo and today we are playing Animal Crossing. I love this game. I've put in over 700 hours in this game. I have a couple friends who have hit the 1,000 mark. So today specifically we are doing a villager hunt. So my villager Chrissy just moved out. I've had her for a couple months. I got her because we have the same birthday. But she wanted to leave, and I was like, you know what, I think I can part with you. So I let her go. I did film this about 2 weeks ago. I'm just now getting around to editing it. So my island does look completely different than it will in this video. I am recording audio for this after the fact. But my island now is ready for Halloween, and I have a lot of new changes that I have implemented on my island. So my island is called Wilsoff. That is an inside joke between my husband and I, but I use that name and everything now. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty long villager hunt. It would have been longer, but I cut out a couple of repeats. Not a couple, I cut out a lot. Something about this specific hunt, all I could ever find were either cows or like the bulls. So I don't even know how many times I ran into Norma and Tipper. And then whatever that bug-eyed, I think he's like a yellow bull with bug eyes. So many times in this video, and there's even more that I actually cut out just to keep the video under an hour. But it was ridiculous. I don't even know. So sometimes when I go into a villager hunt, I know specifically at least 2 or 3 villagers that I'm hoping for. This time, I was kind of caught off guard that Chrissy wanted to move. Because normally it's one of my favorite villagers. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. You can never leave this island. But Chrissy wanted to, and I was like, you know what? I think I can part with her. So then she left, but I didn't really plan out, who I wanted. And I was like, I'll just wing it. And when I see them, I'll see. I'll know that that's the villager that I want. That didn't happen this time around. The villager that I ended up going with, I think, I had her before. Spoiler alert, it's a she. But I had her before. And then I was like, you know what, I really enjoyed this villager. I'm going to invite her back, because it's been, I think I got rid of her, last summer, maybe. So yeah, this kicks off our Cowpalooza with good old Norma. My mom would definitely love to have all cows on her island. She loves cows, cow print. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a fan of the cows, the bulls. The bears, I don't really like any of the birds, although I do. My favorite bird is Jacob. He lives on my island. He's my sweet little cinnamon roll. So my favorite villager is actually Wart Jr. I would love to hear in the comment section, to my total of 0.1 viewers, what is your favorite villager? What is the one villager that you didn't think you would like, but you love? Or what is one villager that you could not part with? I would say 85% of my island is already kind of locked in for the long haul. It's getting hard for me to choose who can go, and that's kind of bit me in the butt a couple times where I'm like, you know what, I can part with you, and then I regret it, which is how Lily ended back up on my island. So she's in the house next to Chrissy. I just recently got her back a couple months ago. Ward Jr. is definitely number one. I felt Jacob was one that I got just because I was like, oh, my husband's name was Jacob, haha, I'll keep him for a couple weeks for a fun joke. Then I fell in love with him, and I've had him over a year. I got him right after the game came out. He was one of the first ones that I found. Same with Jambette. I have Jambette the frog, and I fell in love with her. She's the one that has the big lips, and I didn't think I would enjoy her, but I think that was a villager hunt that I was getting tired. I'd been at it for an hour or two, and I was like, you know what, you'll do. And she's a keeper. I love her. Coco. I could never part with Coco. I think that's... Oh, Pietro. Oh my god, how could I forget Pietro? Absolutely love him. That's another villager that's either you love him or you hate him. I love Pietro, and he's the only villager that I give random things to. So I've given him 5 of the poop hats. I think they're called soft serve hat. I call them the poop hat. Ugh, god, I hate the rhinos, especially her. Seriously. Why would you even want this on your island? You know what? I did have a rhino on my island at one point, but I don't think it was her. I think it was the one that has the leaf on the back of his head. I think that was it. Is that Sherb? that it's Sherb. So if you watch, another really funny YouTuber is Amanda Files. She does a lot of Animal Crossing videos, and on her island, Sherb is like a murderer. Like, he's a serial killer on her island, and her videos, well, they're to die for. Like, she's amazing. I definitely recommend her content. She started out on TikTok early in like 2020 when the game first came out, but now she's a full-time YouTuber. She does a lot of Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. But yeah, her videos will always make you crack up with like the headcanon that she has for her island. So I did almost consider taking this duck, but at the time I was like, Mallory. I was like, at the time I was like, no, I need to get a boy, because I kind of wanted my island to be as close to even as far as gender goes as possible. But like I said earlier, we ended up going with a girl villager, and I don't regret it. It would have been nice to have like split down the middle, but I did recently order some amiibo cards, so when those come in, then I will like be removing some villagers. Like, I ended up getting rid of, I mentioned earlier, like, I wanted Gayla to leave. I ended up getting rid of her, and I put Bob in her place, because I had Bob before, and I really enjoy Bob. I think he's really adorable. But I do have a lot of, I didn't want to have a lot of lazy villagers, and Jacob's a lazy villager. And unfortunately, like, the most annoying thing is the fact that most of the lazy villagers are the ones that are the most adorable. So if I could, I would just have an entire island dedicated to all lazy villagers, like Bob. Stitches is lazy. Oh, there was another one that I had that was lazy, and it like hurt to get rid of him, but I was like, Jacob's like the number one. So the amiibo cards that I actually ended up ordering that should be here in a day or two, I got Bones the dog, because I wanted a dog villager, and I do have Goldie and Daisy's amiibo card, but I wanted Bones, so I ordered him. And then I ordered a frog for my husband. I don't remember his name. Drift, I think. He's like camo colored orange, and he's a jock villager. And then I got myself Ribbot, because I really wanted Ribbot. I've wanted him for a while, but I've never came across him. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get his amiibo card. So those are coming. Whenever I get them in, Ribbot is going to replace Bob, and then I haven't really decided yet who I'm going to replace Bones with, but I'm definitely going to add Bones to my island, so I have at least one dog villager. Yeah, that was Amelia. I do like the Eagles, but I think if I was going to take any of them, it would be Apollo, which I know is kind of basic, but I've actually never encountered him on an island before. There's a few, like, iconic villagers that you always see people raving about, or you see them, like, in promotional stuff. I've never came across them. Fun fact, though, with this guy, Drago, I actually had him on my New Leaf. So he was when I first tried New Leaf, which technically is my first Animal Crossing game. So when this game came out, right before it came out, when it was advertised and it was being hyped up, my husband was like, I don't know why you've never played Animal Crossing, because you're a huge fan of The Sims and games like that. And I was like, well, I don't know anything about it. I'd never played the GameCube one. I only remembered like the weird live action puppet trailers. So I had recently bought a 3DS just so I could have Super Nintendo games on the go. This was before they added them to the Switch. And then I went out and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go get New Leaf. So I went to GameStop, got New Leaf. Really enjoyed it. I was like, oh my god, like this is addicting. I basically marathoned that from January until this game came out. And then, so my very first villager that I ever had was Hans, which we will encounter him in this video, and I almost considered taking him, because he has a special place in my heart since he's the first ever Animal Crossing villager I ever saw. And then Drago was on my island, Apple was on my island, Phoebe, and then I think the pig's name was Cobb. And New Leaf, his house was like mad scientist themed. I'm pretty sure that was Cobb. So those were like the ones that I can remember the most. Apple moved out and somebody else moved in. And then I was very upset whenever Hans moved away, because I didn't realize they would just move away without like asking. So I'm glad that got removed in New Horizons, because I would definitely have a panic attack if like Wart Jr. just wasn't there the next day. So yeah, Drago was on my island. He was really cool, and so when I saw him here, I was like, oh, maybe like I'll do that, or I'll recreate my um, New Leaf Village. But then I was like, no, I'm good because there's a few of them that I didn't like. Lyman, I actually have his amiibo card, so I talked to him just because I find him the most adorable out of the koalas. But I was like, I don't really need you. I bought his amiibo card last year, but then I don't know why I didn't end up using him. I think I just was like, you know what, maybe I didn't want him. Like, it was definitely I think on Etsy it was like a buy 3 get 1 free, and he was the free one I picked out, thinking that I would use him because he is a jock villager, and that's the one villager type that I always end up not seeming to have. So thankfully Ribot is a jock, and he will not be going anywhere once I put him on my island. And yeah, I did a lot of cuts because there's a lot of like just so much dialogue between like flying back, restarting the flying process, landing. So I cut a lot of that out just because the video was when I first like posted this, the video was over like 100, I think it was like up to like 100 minutes, 115 minutes. Like, it was so long. So I just cut it back and I got it down to just about, I think I'm under an hour mark. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so I did a lot of the cutting, and then I did cut a couple of the villagers out because I think I encountered Norma, like, no lie, like 7 times. So I cut a couple of those out just because it was getting very annoying. I was getting into that stage that I feel like some people get into when they're villager hunting, where you get burnout, where you go into it very excited, and then because you're not really encountering a variety, you get kind of burnt out and you're wanting it to be over. And that was kind of my mindset, is I keep seeing the same villagers, and then it kind of gives you burnout, and I'm like, I need a break. But then I also want to finish this, because I was using a capture card, so like, I don't really want to like pause it and start a new recording. I'm currently doing that I'm trying to catch the giant trevally. Is the very last fish I need, and the very last item I need for my museum, and I went through probably like 500 fish food packs at this time, and like still have not caught that bitch. So I haven't even tried to record it because I knew it was going to be a nightmare to even accomplish. And I was right. It is totally a nightmare. It's worse than the time that I stayed up marathoning, trying to catch I forget what it was, but it's the golden fish that you can only catch at like, I want to say like golden trout or something like that. Whatever was at the very top, you can only catch it at the very top of your cliff. So whatever your highest body of water is, you can only catch it there. And it was like at like a very short window, and I marathon that for like 2 days focusing. This was like early. There's Hans. There's my baby boo. So yeah, I marathon that for like 2 days. That was early COVID, so we were all in quarantine, had nowhere else to go. And when I caught that, like, it was like busting open a bottle of champagne. Yeah, I really like Hans. I think he's adorable. I may move him back to my island one day. I don't know. If I ever get tired of Rilla. So I have Rilla from the Sanrio packs, and I really like her. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe like maybe I'll be very controversial and brave and kick Raymond out, and then put Hans in his house. That way he is next to Rilla, and then in my headcanon, they're dating each other. But I really do like Raymond. I'm not one of those type of people where I tried to collect like whatever villager people were like gushing over. I liked Raymond just because I thought he was cute. It was the same with Marshall. I thought Marshall was really cute because he just looked like an angry little twink. And then I got rid of him. I got rid of him for Rilla. So I had a friend who really wanted him, and I like, yeah, he's in boxes, come get him. And then I replaced him with Rilla because I like her design. I know she got like a lot of hate out of the Sanrio cards, but she was my favorite. So yeah, we're not having much luck. Like I said, I don't even know who I was really wanting. Like, Wart Jr. was a amiibo card. I went into the game knowing that I wanted to have Wart Jr. and I wanted to have Coco. Coco took a little bit longer because I could not ever find her. The most infuriating part is when we first, because me and my husband both got the game at the same time, different copies, obviously, and his very first... Okay, so really quick, these are the villagers I have. I have Raymond, Wart Jr., Jambette, Jacob, Lily, Coco, Rilla, Pietro, and then Gala. Gala is gone now, replaced with Bob. and then we will be replacing, obviously. There's an open spot that Chrissy left. But yeah, that is my island. So back to my story. We both got the game at the same time. The moment that our campsites were done, the very first villager, my husband got out on like this specific day, like earlier than I did, played the game. The very first villager he got was Coco. I was so upset. Like, the audacity of you accepting Coco, knowing that I wanted her, like, obviously not his fault, but I still held that against him. And then I was like, whatever. So I turned my game on, and I also had a villager staying at my campsite, and it was Anka. So at the time, I was like, you know what? That is a very fair trade. Like, Anka's, pretty badass. She's a baddie. So I was like, I'll take her. And I had her for the longest time. Like, I don't think I got rid of, like, we time traveled. I'm not opposed to time traveling. So we did a little bit of time traveling when the game came out. So basically from like March until I think probably February of this year, I had Anka. And I got rid of her for, I don't even remember who I got rid of her for, but she was on my island for a very long time. And then every time I would go villager hunting, I would be searching for Coco, and I could not find her. Fun fact, though, I have had Pecan before. She lived on my island very briefly. I thought I wanted her, and then once I got her on my island, I was like, I don't want you anymore. So it was very, I don't want to play with you anymore. But, yeah, so I would always look for Coco, could never find her. One of my villager hunts, I was looking for Coco. That's how I found Marshall. So I did find Marshall and Raymond both in the wild. But I finally gave up and was just like, I'm going to go on Nagazan and try to trade. So I ended up trading. She wasn't actually that expensive. I think I traded maybe like 100 Nook Mile tickets for Coco, and I moved her in. And thankfully she was like ungifted, which for those of you that don't know, that means that if you're trading a villager and you put that they're ungifted, it means that you never gave them any clothing or any items. So their house and their wardrobe is like factory reset, basically. And then if they're gifted, like all of my villagers are gifted. I love giving them clothes, so I tell people that, like, they are gifted. Like when I gave my friend Marshall, he was gifted, but like not in like a bad way. Like I made sure that it was. I like to color coordinate my villagers, so like Marshall always got like baby blue colors or like white and blue stuff like that, or pink. And then his house, I always give him like, coffee cups or this or that because, his house is very much like a cafe. And then like with Wart Jr., I give him like a lot of like the tweed coats or like jackets, stuff like that, like button ups because he is a cranky villager, but in my head, he's like an older gentleman. So I'm like, he's going to dress more conservative. And then, like I said, Pietro, I give him whatever I want. Like, whatever is the most ridiculous, that's what Pietro's going to be wearing. So, I got Coco ungifted, which was great. And then now, like, she's been on my island almost a year. Because I got her... I definitely had her whenever I still had Anka. I just really like Coco's design. Like, I love her, the origin of her design. I love that. So, that was... The moment I checked her off my list, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. And then every time I think that my island is like sad, I'm always like, well, maybe I could part with that villager. So it is much like Disneyland. It is ever changing and growing. But I'm definitely getting. See, there's that bitch again. I literally run into her like 7 or 8 times. It was getting ridiculous. I run into Tipper once or twice, I think. But Norma just was like adamant, like, you're gonna take me home, and I was like, no, I'm not, Norma. So yeah, you're gonna stay here, and you're going to rot or go to somebody else's island, because you're not coming to mine. It was the same with, whatever, I forget his name, but whatever that bull is, that he looks like, he's always wearing, like, the marathon shirt, so he's obviously, like, a jock villager. I ran into him a couple times, and I think there's a few other that weren't cows that I ran into a lot, but there was nobody that really caught my attention. I will say that I have a knack for, at least my husband and my family tell me, I have a knack for being attracted to like the ugly villagers. So like most people don't like Wart Jr., and I'm not like generalizing because I don't know the entire Animal Crossing fandom, but I know from people that I follow, Wart Jr. is pretty much hated. I love Wart Jr. I think he's really cute. He was the very first Maple card I ever bought. Him and Pietro. And another one that I really like is I think her name is Cashmere. I could be wrong. I need to look at my app, but like I have an Animal Crossing app that shows yellow villagers, but she's the green sheep. Like her face is green. She looks like the Grinch. She has like this really ugly face, but I think she's so cute. Same with Pietro. Pietro, like I said, people either hate him or love him because of the clown aspect, but I love him. Uh, I do tend to have a lot of like the smug villagers, which is what he is. So I do get tired of that dialogue from like him. I think Raymond has it. I think Marshall had it as well. So it does get tiring, but I love their designs. I'm not a big fan of Lopez. I think my favorite deer villager is probably either Eric or Diane. But yeah, Lopez doesn't do it for me. The eye shadow is fierce, but yeah, not my island. Badoom. It's always interesting the catchphrases, or I guess like the words that they use. Like I think what is Tiffany's? I had Tiffany for a while, and then my husband really wanted her, so when I got rid of her, oh, there she is again. There's Tipper. Um, Bun Bun. Tiffany's is Bun Bun, and I was like, "You're a badass bitch. Like, why do you sound like a 5-year-old Bun Bun?" So as soon as I can, that's the first thing I change. Now I can't remember at this point in the video if this is the first time we met Tipper or if there was another time, but I know we ran into her a couple times, unless I cut them out. Um, she's cute. My mom would definitely want her on her island because my mom loves like the classic cow print. I don't think my mom has any cows on her island though, or if she did, I think maybe she had Norma for a while. My mom went through this like phase where she we got her the game roughly around Mother's Day because it came out in March, and this absolutely not. I hate the kangaroos. There's not a single kangaroo that I like, and especially not that like cult rock star goth. Yeah, no, we're just gonna walk away very slowly and hope she doesn't turn around and see us. But yeah, we got my mom her Switch around Mother's Day, and we got her Animal Crossing because I was like, my mom's gonna love this game. And so we got her we started her off with a Switch Lite. We got her the game, and I know like the first day or two was very rough. My mom was like, I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't understand this. Then when she unlocked terraforming and she discovered the magic that is like the custom designs and the portal where you can download the user designs that people post, she became addicted, and she loves going on Pinterest and looking up stuff. So this game is her, end all be all now. And for a while, up until very recently, she could care less what villagers she had. So we would always like fly over because there'd be like nights where we'd be like, oh, let's play Animal Crossing. So my husband, me, all of our friends, my mom would all get together and like just fly to each other's island and see what was new. And we were always like freaking out over my mom having like these really cool villagers. And my mom's like, oh yeah, who? Yeah, whatever. Like she had Phoebe the Phoenix for a while, could care less. She had the really cute little cub, Pico, could care less. She did keep Pico for a very long time, but I think she did eventually get rid of her. She had, I think, Muffy the sheep for a while. My husband has Muffy as well, but my mom had her and like could care less, did not even like, wasn't even bothered. And then is this the one that has no. There's another bamboo island where I run into like the one that looks like a woolly mammoth, and I was like, not you, you're an abomination. I am going to stock up on the bamboo shoots though, because they always come in handy and I'm getting low. There's a few crafting items you can use them for, and then obviously to plant them as well. But I am doing okay as far as my bamboo stock goes on my island, because I have like an entire area dedicated to like anything that they put in the game that has like Asian heritage or anything to do with that. Like I have an entire area that has bamboo and has all like the stuff set up for it, and I keep that up year round. But yeah, so my mom like could care less about the villagers, and then recently she's kind of started like requesting like, oh, I'd really like that villager. Like she really wanted Chatter, the mouse that looks like he's made out of cheese. So I just ordered her his amiibo card so she can put him on her island. So I'm glad to see that there's a little bit of diversity now on her island as far as her caring about the villagers that are coming and going. Because for a while there, up until like everything reopened and we had to get back to our normal boring lives, every time you went to her island, it was something new. Every single time you went to her island, like she had something completely new. Whether it would be she had like a new museum area, or she built like this barn with like custom designs, and I think she had like a farmer's market for a long time. So that is always what I enjoy seeing the most. So if you guys have any like dream codes or cool designs, like tell me about them. I loved going out and seeing other people's islands. My friend last year during Halloween converted her entire island into Undertale, which was great. Shout out to my friend Kristen. Her island was amazing. So I dressed up as the flower and like went and viewed it, and it was gorgeous. Like I loved it. And leaving politics out of it, like last year, I know Biden did a island, and you could go there, and they had like custom designs as far as t-shirts and hats go. I think KFC did an island, which was funny. I can't remember. There's been quite a few though that had like in the earlier days used like Animal Crossing as promotion, which was brilliant because that was what had consumed the world. I'm forgetting like who. Okay, she's really cute. That's I think Marjorie is her name. Like I said, it's been about a week since I filmed this. I don't remember their exact names, but a couple of them I do interact with. I'm pretty sure her name is Marjorie. Yeah, Marjorie. So I had the other. I don't know if it's her sister. But I had, what is her name? I think her name is like Tia or something. The one that looks like a teapot. I had her for a very long time. And I originally got her through, I want to say, the campsite. She showed up and I was like, oh, she's cute. I'm going to keep her. And then I think I replaced her with like Molly the duck. I had her for a while. I'm pretty sure that's who is replaced, Tia. Drake is cute. We have his amiibo card though, so I didn't really want to waste like a spot for somebody that I could very easily put into the game. And I also haven't used him up to this point, so we ended up buying a amiibo like pack off of Amazon. It was like $25 and we got 15 amiibo cards. They're little tiny ones, so they're obviously like reproductions, but they're little tiny ones and they're like good quality like plastic, but they're about the size of like a little bit smaller than your pinky. Full artwork, so you know who you're getting. But I definitely recommend, like, it was through Amazon, and we got like I got Lily's amiibo card. Coco was in there. Of course, like these were after I already like got the ones that I wanted, but good to have anyway in case I ever do like lose that or I need to start over. So I know that Lily was in there, Wart Jr., Coco, Marshall was in there. I'm trying to think of any other like big ones. That's where I got Gayla actually. So I forget who. I think Monique the cat was there, and I wanted to get rid of Monique, so I replaced her with. I went through like the list, and I was like, oh, Gayla's kind of cute, and I haven't had a pig yet, but she wore out her welcome very quickly. So yeah, that was great. And then I've also bought a lot through Etsy, just because. Obviously, the reproductions, I don't care. We have a couple of like the official ones, but the problem with those packs is a lot of times you get, because they're randomized, you end up getting ones that you can't really use as far as like Tom Nook. I think we got Tom Nook, we got Isabel, and I'm like, you get like, I think posters with those or something, but you can't move Tom Nook into your village as much as I would love to. I love Tom Nook. So I've started kind of just doing like Etsy shops because you can pick 2, you can pick 5. I just ordered, it was 3, so I got the 3 that I mentioned earlier. And that way, like, you're guaranteed, you know who you're getting. And I have, I think, more of those, honestly, than anything else. Like, I have Pietro in a card like that. I have, technically have Pietro and Wart Jr. in like a plastic Etsy card, and then I also now have them in like the better quality ones through Amazon. So I have multiples of those, and that was also how I got the oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. What is the game? Splatoon. I got the Splatoon amiibos through Etsy. All the entire like series of Splatoon amiibos for like $10, which was great. And my husband was able to get every Zelda amiibo ever made, I think for $20 off of. Those maybe came from Wish, actually. I don't think those came from Etsy. I think those came from like Wish, but they're the same like quality and style as the ones through Amazon. So like full artwork, like almost like a matte finish on the card, but they're just really tiny. And they work great. And I know when the game, right after the game had came out, we actually had went to, I think, GameStop looking for like the official Nintendo figurine amiibos, and we found like, I think Rover. It was like a random one, but I wanted Tom Nook, and we ended up finding Tom Nook and all the other ones at Five Below. So I doubt they're still there now, but back then, like, Five Below was the place to go because that rhymed. They had like every like off the wall Animal Crossing amiibo you could want. So we got like we got the skunk, we got Tom Nook, KK, I think. I know we got Blathers and Celeste. There's that mammoth. Fuck that mammoth. I do not like the mammoth. I'm not a big fan of any of the elephants, but for some reason the mammoth just makes me very uncomfortable. Like, he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be about. But yes, so we have every single Animal Crossing amiibo now, except for, in figurine I mean, except for the Isabelle amiibo and the two alpacas. I forget their names. I'm terrible at this. I love Animal Crossing, but I forget names. Reese, I think, is one of them. Anyway, they have the married event in New Horizons. They had amiibos that came out, and we did not get those. And we technically have Isabelle's card version, but we don't have her actual figurine, which was fine. I think the one that I'm like picturing in my head for her is the one that came out with Amiibo Festival anyway. So that one's kind of hard to get, and I'm not a big fan of Isabelle anyway. So yeah, like I said, we're getting close to the end. For anybody who has stuck out this long, I thought about splitting it into 2 videos, then I was like, nah, it's fine. And this isn't even, like I said, I cut out probably 10 or 15 other, like, plane rides that ended up being, like, duplicate villagers. And I was like, it's funny to have a couple of them featured, but to have all 8 or 9 of them was going to get, like, too long and ridiculous. Like, we get it. Norma wants to be adopted, but not by me. I'm not the one. Okay, so let's wish some luck. It's kind of funny because I'm going back now and forgetting. Okay, yep, there's another one. He's not as bad, but I also don't want him. The other one is like a yellowish bull, I think. But yeah, I'm forgetting. It's been so long now that I'm kind of forgetting who I ran into. There's Norma again. Like I said, she really wanted to be adopted, or whatever you want to call it. Like, she was completely single white femaling me to come back. Like, I'm surprised she didn't attach herself to the plane. And like when we land back on Wilsoft, she just pops up out of the cargo. At one point, I think I cut it. At one point, I think I even did like for a while there was like a rumor that if you like did any of the reactions or the emotes in front of Wilbur, that it would like guarantee you to go to a better island. So, if you did like the applause, or if you did like the confetti, or you did the dancing, Orville, sorry, Wilbur's the other one. So I think I cut it, but at one point, like, I literally, like, danced in front of him and threw confetti, because I was like, please, I am begging you, just give me, like, a somewhat decent villager. It didn't happen up until the end. And then I have a lot of these Nook Mile tickets my mom actually gave me, because she buys a lot of, like, her stuff offline off the black market. But if I ever do need to restock up, I am sitting on almost, I think, 250,000, or at least I think I am now. I don't know what my amount was in this video, but of Nook Mile points. I basically, like, when I play every day, if I accomplish like a task, like, I'll redeem the points, but then I don't spend them because they haven't really added anything to the game to warrant me spending my points. Like, if I want to do, I don't need to redeem them for a Bell voucher, and then I have so many Nook Miles, that'd be the only thing that I would actually redeem it on. I think this was the Anteater. It is. I almost considered taking him because I was like, you know what, he's festive. I haven't seen him before, but we did not go with him. But yeah, I'm sitting on a lot of Nook Mile points. So I'm hoping in the future they add something. Maybe when we get like the Brewster update, they'll add like new hair or something that we can redeem the points for. And not that those are ever overly expensive, but or maybe even like new pathways that are, you know, Nintendo official versus the custom content. Not that I'm knocking the custom content, because I have a lot of like the brick overlay that you will see over most of my island is custom content, and it is the most amazing like brick I found in the game from custom content creation. Like, I've had a couple of really bad ones, and I'm not like harping on it because I can't make custom content worth a crap, except for like for a while my flag was like a W. I made that, and like it was very basic. Other than that, like, I'm not knocking it because I can't do it, but some of them just look better than others, and the one that I found is like amazing. And I also really like the ones that can overlay over the Nintendo. So like if you lay down the Nintendo pathway and then you put something on the top of it, sometimes it'll actually like form to that, so it matches it. So like if you create like a curved path, it'll match that. And then other ones don't do that. I don't know what the logistics is behind that. If anybody does, please tell me in the comment section, because I don't know why some work with that and some don't. But other ones will like just make squares. So if you've made like a lot of curved pathways or stuff like that, very intricate, some of the custom content won't work with it, and it'll just be like squares that you lay out. And I like having some that have like a curved elbow, and like, you know, over here it kind of curves, and so I prefer the pathways that kind of match that. I don't even know why we talked on custom content, but yeah, so that's what I kind of look for. And I definitely recommend, you know, going on like YouTube and looking up. There's a lot of channels where they show off like dream codes, where they go to other people's islands and kind of show off their designs, and it's very like inspirational, and it does give me ideas. But then again, my island, for me anyway, is I want it to be functional. Like, I play the game daily, or at least I try to. So for me, as much as I love looking at some of those gorgeous islands, and, you know, some of them are breathtaking, for me, that is not how I play the game. That is just a personal decision. There's another cow. This one wasn't as bad. Like, I don't know. I felt kind of bad for her just because she's brown. I'm like, she's cute. But I just don't like the cows don't do it for me. But yeah, so my island's very functional. My pathways are all kind of open, and I condensed a lot of my villager houses where up until, it used to be even more than that, and then up until, I think maybe back in like December, I kind of spaced out a couple of their houses and gave them little yards. So like Jambette and Coco each have like a little yard area. Wirt Jr. has a yard. Jacob has like an outdoor bug collection. And then Marshall used to live where Rilla now lives, so Marshall had like an outdoor cafe, and I didn't do too much to change it when Rilla moved in. I just switched everything over to Hello Kitty. But that's the extent of like me giving them like yards. And you know, you see all these people that have like the fake buildings with like, they make it out of like the bookshelves and the panels that they add custom content to, and it's great. And I think that it's really fun to look at, and it's so like just mind-blowing that they were able to accomplish that, because I could never. But for me, that is not like what I want on my island, just because I don't like like I said, it's fun to look at, and if that was what my channel was about, or if that's how I wanted to play the game, I would 100% do that. But I like, you know, actually having functionality. So there are a few. Okay, so really quick, I did have Portia prior. I got her, I think, off of Random Island as well. I was like, oh my god, she's a Dalmatian. So I did have her for maybe a month, and then she was another one that I kind of got tired of her. There he is. There's the bug-eyed. I think I said earlier he was yellow. He's orangish. I don't like him. He creeps me out. I don't know how many times because I've kind of talked over it. I don't know if he's appeared in the video or if I cut a lot of his out, but he also appeared almost as much as Norma did. Like I said, this was just cow palooza for some reason. Like, the heavens was telling me to take a cow home, and I was like, absolutely not. But yeah, so I you know, I do have like a little theme park area, and I have a little like boardwalk area that obviously isn't functional, and that I'm okay with. But then there's other areas where I'm like, I don't want to have like an entire street of like a Target and like a bookstore that you can't really interact with. My hope for that is if I leave enough room in the future, maybe Nintendo will be kind and give us like a functional. We don't really need it just because we can change our appearance at any time. But like how it was in like New Leaf, where you had like Harriet's salon, you had when the Nook's Cranny upgraded, like that got bigger. I was hoping that the Roost would be a separate entity so we could have like another building to go to, but it's a museum, that's fine. So that is my hope, is if I leave enough room, eventually it will be usable as far as like actual buildings go. But right now, like I just don't really like not okay, and then really quick, Carmen. I thought about taking her because I was like, oh my god, she knows my name. And then when she said a pair of celebrities, I was like, oh no, there can be only one. Like, you're not going to come to my island and compare yourself to me. Like, I'm the god of my island. How dare you? So then I wanted her to notice me walking away slowly and that she's not coming to my island. Like, you're never allowed there now. You compared yourself to me. And then there's him. My mom had him for a while as well. I think his name is T-Bone or Coach, one of those. I can't remember which one he is. But yeah, so long rant, but that is how I prefer my island, is just kind of like, I don't really want to like have to like sidestep and like just take forever to walk around things. That is just not my aesthetic, but I absolutely love looking at that stuff. Like I watched earlier where this person like built like a Target on their island, and it was so funny, so cute. The imagination that goes into like taking the serving cart and then putting the red dish rack on top of it so it looks like a cart. Like I never would have thought to do that. So I applaud them, but like I said, it's not my. I guess my island would be like boring normcore if you believe in the core stuff. Like there's nothing. There's not really like any landmarks on my island, but I love my island, and like I said, I like it being more open and just accessible. Maybe if I had like a huge following, and that was kind of like my whole thing, is like showing off like, oh, I built this like cathedral and I built this backdrop, like that'd be great. My mom did that where she built like a cliffside like village with like the little dollhouse that came out around Christmas time, and it was really cute, and it had like little gnomes all around it. It was like a gnome village, I guess. Okay, who is on this island? There he is. Told you, there he is. They're following me, and I don't know why. Like the cows, it's like Day of the Cows out here, or like Night of the Living Cows. They are after me. That is my reaction. Quit wasting my Nook tickets, please. Like, this is not a joke. I need to fill this void. And it's like the moment I get in the airplane, they dive into the ocean, and then just like, there she is again. See, I'm not making this up. Like, this happens so much, and there's so much more that I cut out. Like, I have to take a photo just because nobody's going to believe this. Like, complete absurdity. Like, the moment I get in the airplane, they're diving into the ocean and just, like, Olympic swimming to the next island to beat me there. Like, now that I'm out of sight, like, she's completely, like, hunched over, catching her breath. It's ridiculous. I don't trust them. I don't trust them now. Like, I never want to look at another cow just because of how they treated me. This is completely wrong, and I will be writing a letter to Tom Nook. Joking aside, I do wish that the villager hunts could be streamlined, or just going to the mystery islands in general. Like, we should not have to fly back to the airport. Wilbur should just ask you, would you like to fly home, or would you like to go to another island? That way you just keep it going, because this is annoying. That's why I had to cut so much of it out, was just because there was so much of the talking and going back and forth. It was ridiculous. But having said that, they're iconic and they are at the moment. And if they could live on my island, I would 100% let Orville. I like Orville better than Wilbur. I don't know if it's because of the glasses or what it is, but Orville is my favorite. So I would 100% let him live on my island, along with Tom Nook. Isabel could work in the office 24 hours a day and never get a break. But Tom Nook and Orville could, like, they could move into my house, honestly. Like, I'll give them the upstairs and I'll live in the basement. Okay, so And then there's this bitch. Like, I had to take a moment just to look at her because I was like, absolutely not. Something about her face is just, she's that like kid in like third grade that probably put their hamster in the microwave. And then here it is. This is the moment. I originally had Marina eons ago. She lived next door to Octavian, the red octopus, and then I got rid of her and I regretted it. And when I saw her, I was like, I am tired. I've been doing this for like an hour and a half. You're coming home with me. So Marina is who we ended up going home with. I love her. I think now that I've had time to sit on it and I have the new amiibo cards coming, I was originally going to get rid of her again and replace her with one of the new ones, but I think I'm actually going to let Lily go. So I think I'm going to replace Bob with Ribbot, and then I'm going to replace Lily with Bones, and I'm keeping Marina, because that way I don't have 4 frogs on my island, because I would have Jambette, Wart Jr., and Ribbot, and then if I kept Lily, that's 4. So we're going to keep the diversity going, but we do end up with Marina, which I think is a great choice. Out of everyone that we've had, which I know the pickings were very slim, so my cup runneth over, Marina's cute. I love her. The inside of her house, if you haven't seen it, it looks like pink chocolate. Like, the entire wall just looks like it's covered in, like, pink candy bars. It's great. And I haven't really figured out, so, like, now that, a week later, I'm able to actually, like, gift her items. I thought that I was going to let pink be, like, her color scheme, but then again, it doesn't really show up on her body. So now I'm trying to give her, like, more white items. Because Lily I was giving yellow items to, but I may give, like, Marina anything that's, like, white and pink, or else maybe yellow items. Anything that's, like, doesn't blend in with her skin very well. Because that's the problem that I run into. Is sometimes I have a habit of, like, gifting items, and I'm like, oh, it just looks like they're wearing their skin color. But, as always, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you've liked any content that you've seen on my channel so far, or if you've liked this annoyingly long video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It does help me out. As I've said many times before, I don't do this for the views or for the hope of one day being a famous YouTuber. I do find it fun and relaxing, and it's been helping me keep down a lot of stress that I've been dealing with, so hopefully it helps you out. Please be kind to one another. Please wear a mask. And yeah, I think that wraps this up. I will catch you guys later.